All right, we're recording. It's official. Okay. So for first, thanks so much for letting me come on with you guys tonight. It's always such an honor just to get to speak to somebody else besides my team or my friends or whatever. So I was super excited when Candace reached out and asked if I would hop on and talk to you guys tonight. I love the way she broke down and did the little acronym for you guys. So tonight we're going to be talking a little bit about distributors and all of that fun stuff. But the ask, the A.S.K, I thought was so smart, and I never really had thought about it like that. And so when I was kind of gathering my thoughts to not be an organized hot mess for you guys tonight. I was kind of gathering my thoughts about like what things do I do in those particular stages. Um, I just I was super impressed just by how simple that is. Just breaking it down for the asking and for the attracting and then signing people and then keeping them. So for those of y'all that don't know me, I didn't introduce myself like Candace told me to. I'm kind of all over the place. My name is Jamie Whitehead. I am a double diamond. We will be a VIP team this year. We have been pushing VIP probably since the spring pretty steadily, pretty hot and heavy. So you guys don't ever give up on your dreams. Like, it's God's time. And I am a true example of that. So don't ever give up on your dreams. If it's not this month, it's next month. If it's not next month, it's the one after that. But I got started in this business on a complete whim. Okay. So I got started. There was a promotion. It was $9.99 to join. The company did it one time. They will never do it again. I can tell you that because it was a hot mess. And you know as well as I do, if you've been in this business for longer than like 30 days, you know that sometimes you sign distributors and they go into the witness protection program or they whatever fall off the face of the earth and or just try for a week and then they're gone. That's what 999 produced a lot of. And there are a few of us that are still around, but I only joined this business because it was a promotion. Okay, so I want you all to hear that because there are diamonds in the rough, and I don't say that to toot my own horn, but you can recruit even during a sale, and you should put yourself out there really boldly, especially in instances like that, because you never know who you're going to sign. So I had been a customer for like 7 years. I never once considered the business. This promotion, I was a triple threat, like the original triple threat, Thermophyte X, Fat Fighters, and Greens success story. Like loved it, swore by it, told everybody about it. I rapped monthly. Like I was a loyal customer. And my person that I was signed up with as a customer was a presidential diamond then, never once asked me to be in the business. And honestly, if she would have, I would have laughed at her and told her no. Like I wanted nothing to do with this business. I had a really successful career in IT, and I have two kids and a husband and a PTA mom, and I'm a baseball mom, and I'm a soccer mom, and a gymnastics and cheerleading and all the things, right? So I had anything but time. And I saw a few friends earn some really big bonuses, like they roll out in the spring, kind of like the $8,000 diamond bonus that they have right now. Um, I had seen a few of my friends earn these bonuses, and I was like, you know what? If they can do it, why can't I? It's $9 to join. And I already know I love the wraps. So the bargain hunter in me is like, well, I'll get a pack of wraps. And if I fail, great, at least I got some product out of it. So I signed up. I was truly ignorance on fire when I got started. I signed at like midnight on the 26th of June, and the promotion ended on the 30th. So roughly 3 days. And I signed 14 distributors in those first 3 days. Not because I knew what I was doing, you guys, and that's something else that I want you to hear. You don't have to know what you're doing. You don't have to know jack about this business. At that point, I knew nothing about the bonuses, nothing about fast starts. I learned that later. I learned so much about the business after I'd signed all these people. And I was truly just ignorance on fire. And I was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. And so I hit the ground running. And my climb has been pretty steady. I went ruby in 3 months, emerald in 9, diamond in 13, double in 22, and we're pushing triple now. And I just had my 3-year mark. So it's been a steady climb. I love this business. I was actually able to retire last year from corporate America. That 6-figure successful IT career that I had when I first started went away in the blink of an eye. And the business that I had no business joining or even investing time into saved my butt August last year. And it has allowed me to completely change my life and become the stay-at-home mom that I never knew that I wanted to be. I always thought that I would be like a corporate mom. And I loved it, but I love this so much more. I love being at home with my kids. They drive me absolutely bonkers, but I don't know what I would do without them. So that's just a little bit about my story. But yeah, ignorance on fire. Sorry, I'm super ADD, so I'm going to read the comments as we go. But yeah, I was very much ignorance on fire, and that's kind of how I got started. I just never stopped. So Candace, you want to hop in?
Yes. First of all, I love what you said when you said the business that you had no business joining. You know what I mean? Because I think a lot of people out there at the moment, they might think that they, that this is not something that they need. Obviously, there's a lot of people that just think they don't need something like this, but they never know when they're gonna need something like this. So you might get lucky and either have somebody on your team who's not, maybe you have somebody on your team who's not like super in it right now. They're not killing it or anything like that, but you never know when something's going to happen and that person is going to need this. Like this is going to become all they've got, their only choice. This is, at the beginning, it might be their fallback plan and they might think that's not even ever going to happen. But then what if when it does and they just, completely take off? But the main reason I say that is because I'm pretty sure that, whenever your sponsor was recruiting you, she probably knew you didn't need this, but get them in anyway. So don't be scared to ask people to join just because you think, oh, well, she's a nurse, or, oh, she's a school teacher, or she's this, she's that. She doesn't need anything like this. You never know when that person is going to need this. And I think of Liz too, and I want to use her. I don't even know if she might be on, I'm not sure. But I think of her because she's a physical therapist, she's a freaking doctor, but she found out that her son, had, what is it that he has? Diabetes. Yeah. So all of a sudden she's got $1,000, a month in diabetic supplies that she needs. And so she ended up needing this, whereas when she first joined, she didn't need it. So you guys don't be scared to ask people just because, don't judge people just by their current occupation. You never know when they're really going to need this.
Yep. And something else, and I should have mentioned it when I was telling my story, something else that I just want to throw in. I wasn't recruited. I was never asked to join this business. I actually texted, y'all don't know the twins, but they used to be in this business. I texted the twins in a 3-way text and I said, which one of y'all wants to take my money? And I was, because it was $9.99, and I was like, which one of y'all wants to take my money? Who gets my $10? And I did that. And as soon as I sent that message, you guys, I was like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? I don't have time. I'm going to fail at this. What happened? Like, I'm a perfectionist. I'm a first child. I'm a red. I am a overthinker. I am a whatever. And for me to just send that text message, like literally as soon as I pushed send, I was like, what did I just do? If you have ever doubted yourself in this business, drop a 1 in the comments, because that's pretty much everybody. And that's something I'm going to talk about here in a minute, because it's super important as you are recruiting distributors and as you are bringing them into this business and helping keep them around. Once you sign them up, their fears do not go away. So just because you sign them doesn't mean you don't have to overcome those fears. Doesn't mean that they're not worried that their mom and that their husband are not going to support them in this. They're not worried that they're going to be that girl on Facebook. And I'm saying all these things because that was me. Like, I was all of those things. I was so worried that all of those things were going to come true and that I was going to be this thing that I didn't want to be. And that at the end of the day, worse than any of that, I was going to fail. I didn't want to fail. Definitely didn't want to fail in public. And so I was like, we ask our customers to do a 90-day like commitment. I'm going to commit for 90 days to my business. And if I can work this business every day for 90 days, and at the end of it, if I am not successful and if I haven't made money, then I will walk away, no harm, no foul. And I would challenge any of you that are brand new in this business, if that's you, commit to yourself 90 days. And when I say 90 days, I don't mean 90 days like every other day or every third day. Every single day, do your KPI every single day. Get with your upline and talk about what that looks like and do it every single day for 90 days. If you don't find success in this business and if you're not coachable, one, you will find success in this business. I was a lifer by like day 40. I knew, because I found success. I committed to the process and I found success, and you will too. Two, if it's not working, plug into your sponsor. And that's something else I'm going to talk about. So I wasn't recruited, but that doesn't mean that I hadn't been watching. So that's something that we'll talk about here in just a second. Candace, you want to add anything, or do you want me to just jump right into the A.S.K?
Yeah, let's just go ahead and jump into that.
Okay, so was everybody on your first one?
Not everybody, because I just invited Val's other legs. So, but I did go live in her team page and explain it. So
The
they should
A.S.K.
be
Okay, perfect. Okay, so in terms of distributors, the A.S.K is attract, sign, keep. Okay, so you want to start from the very beginning. Who are you attracting? What are you talking about? What are you doing? And y'all, I'm so organized. I even took notes. That is not like me. I'm not organized at all. I am a true hot mess, and I will, for sure. Anyways, but so something that I talked about on my very first Zoom that I was ever asked to host as a Ruby was my key to success was consistency and persistence. So it all starts with you being consistent in your business and deciding that you're going to show up every single day. You are going to attract people because you are going to put off a sense of commitment from yourself. You're not a wishy-washy person. Unfortunately, this business, if you have ever been told or thought, because I definitely did before I started this business, that network marketing was like a sham, or it wasn't real, or it was a pyramid scheme, or whatever. If you've ever been told that or thought that, drop a 2 in the comments, because I would drop a 2. Before I joined this business, I was like, I want no part in that. But here's the deal. It's like that, and the 2s go wild. It's like that because so many people join this type of business and they quit before they even get started. They post a couple of times and then they're gone. And that's another person that the person that believes that is going to say, oh, she tried it and she failed. It's not that she failed. She didn't even get started. Okay. So you have to gain credibility with your people, okay, with your audience, with your mom, with your husband, with your best friend. You have to gain it from all of them, right? So posting every single day is gaining that credibility with your audience. So something that you want to post with, when I first started, I did things a little bit different than I do now. And there's no right or wrong way to post. I personally only post like once a day now about the business and or a product, and then I do a personal post. So I don't post that frequently. When I first started though, I posted 3 times a day. 1 business, 1 product, 1 personal. I think it's a great recipe. A lot of my new distributors do that. But for me personally, what works best for my algorithm is posting 1 time a day about the business and or a product. But again, I'm 3 years in, and my audience knows I'm that person. I've gained that credibility. I've established myself as somebody that's a professional in this industry. So posting every single day about your business, decide what that looks like and stick to it. What do you post about? This is where, like, if you're talking about attracting people, one, you want to know who you are as a person. And sometimes that's really hard. In fact, like, you guys have probably all heard of, like, you should know your 5 pillars. And whenever you post, it should be about those 5 things. If you don't know what that is, then I'll just enlighten you real quick. if you were to text 5 of your best friends and say, hey, what 5 things make me who I am? Those are the 5 things, right? So for me, I actually texted 5 of my best friends and I said, hey, what are my 5 pillars? I definitely know mine, but I got back so many different things that I was like, oh yeah, oh yeah. And you want to make sure that you're sharing those things, because what you're going to do is you're going to turn around and that is going to attract people that are like you. You're going to identify with people that are like you. Your posts are going to click with people like you. Okay, so like for example, mine are hot mess mom and wife. I'm married to the love of my life, is what one of my other friends said. I put friends/party. I love to have a good time. I'm here for a good time. I am all about the party. I'm always hosting a party. I'm always having people at my house. I'm always having swim parties. I'm always doing something. I'm with my friends. Cocktails and comedy. I love to have a good cocktail. I'm really sarcastic in real life. And you'll see all of that if you follow me on Facebook or if we have a real conversation. 7-day weekend, I just truly like trying to live my best life. And then a brand rep, that's a part of who I am now, right? So, and then a couple of other friends kind of didn't pair them like I did, and they were like, she's loyal, she's really good at keeping a secret, she is a confidant, she's a trusted friend. Like something in there like loyalty and trust would probably be my 5th one if I had to expand upon that. But what I'm going to attract by sharing posts that align with my 5 pillars, that align with who I am, I'm going to attract people that are like me. I'm going to get fun moms that are also a hot mess, that live in t-shirts, but like love on their kids all day long. I'm going to get a big tribe and a big following of people that are just like me. And that's what you want. You want to attract people just like you so that you have things in common with them. And so, you know how they tick because you tick the same way. Yes, that's perfect, Candace. Your vibe attracts your tribe. That is so stinking true. And if you vibe high, then they're going to vibe high too. If your vibe is low, then you're going to attract people that vibe low, and you don't want that. So something else that I wrote right here was to aim high and to be genuine. Here's the thing. If you're trying to attract your ideal market, you want to attract a lot of them, because we know that some people take a long time to join this business, or some people, it takes all kinds, right? So you want to aim high, but you want to be genuine. The last thing that you want to do is have people come into your business thinking that they're going to get one version of Jamie and get this completely different version, right? So be true to who you are. If you're not a hot mess mom and you are like on a schedule and that's it, like, and you run your house like it's clean and your kids are orderly, like, I mean, I'm not saying we can't be friends, but like we're vibing a little different, right? We're a mess over here. We're loving and living life, and that's just us. And we prioritize fun and love and crazy over whatever else. And sometimes it bites me in the butt for sure. I definitely want to be more organized, but you know what I mean. So be genuine to who you are. That something else, like as you're getting started, I was talking about gaining credibility with your audience. If you are trying to be something that you are not, your mom, your best friend, your husband, your blah, 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 your friends from high school that you don't hang out with necessarily anymore, but know you on a personal level, like they're going to smell that immediately. You have to be who you are. And sometimes that's hard. Sometimes that's a really hard thing to like dive into. But you've got to know who you are. Then on top of knowing who you are, you've got to know what you want in business partners. I don't like to call them distributors or whatever. Like if I'm bringing somebody into this business, I want to partner with them. I'm at the point in my business where I choose to be a little bit more picky. I want to vibe with people before I bring them into this business. I want my ideal distributor. When I sign people in this business, I want motivated people. I want people that want more for their family. I want people that are self-starters. I want people that love to go and do fun things as a group or with a group of friends. I want people that love social media and their content that they create already is awesome. I want people that have a beautiful, like a positive voice, that are using whatever platform, how big or how small they have, for positivity and to be the light into this world. Like, what do you see as your ideal distributor? Actually, number one trait of a distributor, if you could pick one thing that you wanted your distributor that you're trying to attract to have, what would it be? Drop it in the comments. I honestly don't know what mine is. I just thought of that question. But I, like, as I sat there and rambled on a few things, I'm like, I want somebody, and I hate the word motivated, by the way. I want somebody that's disciplined. Good energy, that's so good. Determined, hardworking. I love that. I love that. So it's super important to not only know who you are so that you're attracting the right kind of people, but know what you want in a business partner. Know, sit down and make a list. Coachable, yes, that's huge, right? You want to know what you're looking for when you are seeking out distributors. If you're actively pursuing recruiting people, then you need to know what you're looking for. You don't want to just throw a, what is it, take a shot in the dark. Like, you never know what you're going to get, right? So while anybody can be a success in this business, you also want to know what you're looking for when you are. So that is something else. When you're attracting people, write to the people, your posts that you're making every day, the conversations that you're having every day. You want to make sure that you are talking to people that fit in with the ideals of what you want from your business. The last thing that I have written for attraction, because I feel like a lot of the work takes place at the beginning, right? It's kind of, actually they're all pretty equal, but this, I feel like you probably feel like you have the most control whenever you are attracting the people, because you're putting something out to try and bring them in. The last thing that I would do, you should be having conversations every single day. This is, like I said, last tip. You should be having conversations every single day with potential distributors or potential customers, or both, or whatever. But as you're talking to people, when you go to write a post the next day or that night or whatever, write your post, especially distributor post, write them to a specific person. And I'm sure that you guys have heard that before, but it is so true. If I've talked to 20 potential customers today and a handful of potential distributors, and I feel like this one is so close, when I do a potential distributor post tonight, I am going to talk about whatever her fear was or whatever her hang up was, or, you know what I mean? Like, if they're concerned about not having a big enough social media following or whatever, address their fears and hesitations. Thank you. Words are hard, Cindy. That was amazing. Yeah, address it. If they're worried about not having enough followers or not having a big enough network or whatever, talk about the systems that your team has in place with these really cool tools to grow your market and expand your reach. Talk about, share a story of, Lord knows there are so many stories out there of successful distributors that live in tiny little towns. Go tell somebody else's story of their success. Say, I mean, if I live in a big city, I can't relate to living in a tiny town and getting outside of that. But I have a girl on my team that lives in a population 600 town that is killing it. And she just signed her first distributor that is in a whole nother state. Like, that's a success story. The person that I was talking to today that's concerned about here not having anybody to talk to or being in a small community, she's going to read that and say, okay, maybe so. It's like third party validation, right? So that is something else that you should do whenever you're trying to attract. One, know who you are and know what you want in this business. Be consistent with how you're posting it. Know what you want in your ideal distributor and talk directly to them as you're starting to have conversations with them. So if you're trying to attract your tribe, focus on those things. Focus on the things that you can control and know what you want. That, I mean, honestly, that's probably the best way to say it. Just know what you want, know who you are, and go after that. I think that's all I've got for attract.
That was good. That was good, because I think it's really, really, like, It's really important. And a lot of us don't really even think about, like, especially when you're first starting, you're not necessarily putting a crap ton of thought into what it is that you're posting. You're just trying to get a business post up, you know? And so I think for me, and I know for you, and Cindy can probably relate to this too, and Kayla, when you start really intentionally posting business posts, like the content that you're posting is intentional, you've put some thought into it, and there's, like you said, somebody you have in mind, that's whenever you really start to draw people in. So I think that is so important. Know who you are trying to attract, and then that's how you attract them. When you know who they are, you're going to know what to say, you know?
Yep,
So it's going to be a lot easier.
exactly. And if you haven't made your list of what your ideal DT is, sit down and take 5 minutes and write a list of 10 traits that your ideal distributor would have. And if you haven't done your 5 pillars, sit down and write those down too, or text 5 of your friends and say, hey, what 5 things make me me, right? So that you can know, and then make sure that you're posting those things, and make sure that you're like, that way you're gonna get back what you put out.
Mm-hmm. I love that. So with sign, obviously here, what I'm really looking for is your tips on closing distributors, like how to help them, number one, feel comfortable pulling the trigger. And I'm sure you have some notes probably related very closely to this, but I think that's where a lot of people get hung up, is they get these ladies, you know, who are on the fence or interested or whatever you want to call it, and they get them into the inbox, but then that's where it all just kind of like stops. They're trying to get them to pull the trigger. So for sign, just talk about like closing distributors, getting them, you know, to just go after it.
So here's the thing, you guys, signing distributors is the exact same as signing customers. And if you can sign a customer, you can sign a distributor. There is literally no difference. We are offering a product or a service, right? There is no trick or no crazy thing. One is, y'all are gonna kill me for saying this, but follow up, you guys. These are the conversations that confidence is going to be so key. If you are not in their inbox the very next day, or if you're talking that morning, in their inbox that night, they're already doubting themselves. It's never the business. They may say, oh, is this real, or oh, whatever, but it's not that. Whatever their fear or hesitation is, they are just doubting themselves. Okay, so be so confident. If you take nothing else from this, be confident. The first way that you can do that is to follow up immediately. Be on top of that, because you know what it shows them? It shows them that, one, you are excited. Okay, you are excited to have them join you. Two, it shows them that you know what you have to offer, and you want to give it to them. Okay, so you have to create value when you're talking to them. A lot of times, I know about 6 months ago, I felt like I was in a dry spell with recruiting distributors, and I was just like, what is happening? I don't understand what is going on. But I had gotten in a groove of a really good script. And this is going to sound terrible, you guys, but I'm vulnerable and honest. And I had gotten in a groove of using this really good script that I had, like, beginning to end. Like, I had a whole conversation, right? And it was like, they say this, I say this, they say this, I mean, it was in my word board. I mean, I could have done it with my eyes closed. I could have taught Rayleigh to do it. She's 5. But here's what was missing. We would get to the end of the conversation, and they didn't hear my excitement. They didn't hear, I hadn't created like enough value for them. Maybe they had more questions. Maybe they weren't completely sold on the commissions, whatever, but I was so stuck in my script that I missed all of that. And I wasn't like cluing in on what what they really needed from the conversation versus me giving them like the next piece of information. It was all chunks. It was all bite size. I wasn't word vomiting. There was none of that. But I was like, what is missing? And it was me just giving them the information versus like hearing and feeling what they needed from the conversation. So I switched my game and I only voice memo. Once we have that initial conversation, or once we've made it to 2 or 3 of those, and I'm happy to share my script, but once I'd made it through a couple of those, if I didn't feel like their excitement from it, I immediately switched to voice memos. You guys, they can hear so much from you. They hear if you're excited, and you don't even have to talk fake. Like, you don't even have to talk like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. It's not about that. They just hear the genuineness in your voice, and they hear the excitement that you have for your business. And all of a sudden, instead of them hearing, I retired from corporate America last year, this business has changed my life, we were able to pay for private school and put it in a pool and pay off debt, blah, blah, blah. Like, they're hearing me say, oh my gosh, I would have never known that I needed this business. But it sure saved me. We went from doing fun, cool things like putting in a pool for our kids ahead of schedule, paying for private school tuition, to like me not having to go back to work, me giving me the freedom to choose. And that may not be your goal, but whatever your goal is, I promise I can coach you there. If you're coachable, I have all the tools. Is like, I even have a script that says something to the effect of, when they're doubting, like, if they could do this, I always say, well, I have all the tools. If I give you all the tools that you need to be successful, would you use them? And instead of me sending that from my word board or sending that in a text, whatever, I just voice memo them. Like, hey, I know I didn't know what I was doing, and I am much more of a hands-on mentor than my mentor ever was for me. And I love my mentor, by the way, but she didn't do that for me. And I promise to handhold you through all of this. Our business is based on systems, and I took everything that I knew from corporate America and I applied it to this business. So you'll never be alone. If I gave you all the tools that you need to be successful in this business, would you use them? Like, how much they just feel different, you guys. So and then on top of that, it reaffirms the confidence that you have in this business. It's going to make them feel more confident in you, but it's also going to make you feel more confident in this business. So voice memoing is everything. I don't even have PDT follow-ups that are in my word board because I do everything through voice memo. It's so, so important. You have to that's the one difference, is you have to take it to a personal level. You have to get outside of the scripts more than you would, I think, for like a potential customer conversation. And just be excited and know what you have to offer. Some other things that I wrote, I've got my notes sitting right here on my phone. It says, be sure and share your story every single day. I do that a lot in my stories. Again, because I don't post a whole lot. I post once a day. So I make sure that my story includes my story every single day. And I think it's really cool. I don't know if y'all saw the Amber Parker thing the other day, but they're working on 365 ways to tell your story for the 365 days. So I'm so excited to get to use that, because it's so important. There's so many different ways to tell your story. What this business is doing for you, what it's going to do for you, what friends it's brought you in this business, what experience, what it's taught you as a person, what your fast start bonus paid for this week, what the girl that just joined your team joined for. Like, there's thousands of different ways that this business changes people's lives and helps people every single day. And so sharing all of those different things are going to hit with different people. So be sure and share a story every single day. Facts tell, stories share. What is it? Stories sell. Facts tell, stories sell. Sorry, sometimes words are hard. But that's something that is so, so true, because thank you. Because when it comes to this business, everybody is different. Everybody has different circumstances and they're bringing different beliefs into this business in terms of like self-belief and what they know about the business, what they know about the company, all of that fun stuff. So just get personal with them and don't be afraid to get on your voice memo. It's so, so, so important. And the last thing that I want to talk about in terms of signing distributors, because there is no magic sauce, you guys. If you want to sign distributors, you have to talk to distributors. Okay. That's something else that I probably have the conversation with once a week, with somebody on my team. They're like, I just really want to grow my team. Da, 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 da. Okay. Well, how many PDT haps have you gotten up today? How many have you gotten up this week? How many PDT conversations have you had this week? If you've done your KPI today, how many of your 10 haps were PDT haps? Because I have done my KPI today and 3 of mine were PDT. You guys, have you all completed yours? Drop it in the chat if you've already done your KPI for today and you have and you've gotten your haps up. How many of those were PDT haps? That's so important. You have to be asking for them, okay? So if it's a numbers game. It is a numbers game. If you want to sign more PDTs, you have to talk to more PDTs, okay? The last thing that I'm gonna say kind of goes back to posting, and it kind of was in between attract and sign. Something that we just started doing on my team this month, actually. We've done it in the past for my personal promotions, but we've never done it for girls. I have 3 girls this month that are pushing for Diamond. I'm so excited for them. And what I did earlier this month with them was we sat down and I had them print out a calendar. And I don't know how you guys chart, but for us, we always look at whatever it, to go Diamond, you have to have 8,000 GV, right? So say one of them had 5,000, so she needs 3,000 GV. So we divided that by 45 because our average order for our team is 45 BV, and we're that many orders away for Brooke to go Diamond, right? So what we did was we did a 2-part thing. One, we set a daily goal for her team, like in terms of new volume, but we also on the calendar, say she needed, I don't remember how many she needed, we'll say 67 orders, right? So if on the first she needed 67 orders, she did like a countdown on, and this is a chart, but it was like 67, 65, 61, 56, whatever. And she just, and even if she wasn't hitting that, that's what her post of the day was. Okay. So she was creating FOMO that her team had momentum going. And so it was basically a countdown all month long. I'm not going to expect you to keep up with how many orders you're away. Obviously, we're going to look at volume every day and be aware of that. But we all know that some orders are 100 BV and some are 30. But in terms of telling a story, because stories sell, the story of her going Diamond this month, she needed to have something that she could talk about, right? So every single day she's posting that. My girl Jamie is doing the same thing. And then what we did, this is the part that I want you guys to clue in on, is so we're telling that story to attract customers. Oh my gosh, she's down to 50 customers that she needs. Oh my gosh, she's down to 35. I can't believe she's actually doing it. That's going to create FOMO for people wanting to help you out, right? And be a part of your journey and be a part of your promotion. But on the flip side, every 3rd or 4th day, she is spotlighting somebody on her team that is promoting, or that is going to have a bigger paycheck, or is going to win because of her promotion, okay? So when she's talking to Sally that doesn't want to go Diamond, she wants to join for gas money and grocery money, a couple $100 a month, then when she tells Chelsea's story, Chelsea is a girl on her team that just wants gas and grocery money. When she tells that, she's going to share a picture of Chelsea and her 2 daughters and just talk about how Chelsea joined her last month and she was able to pay for gas and groceries this whole month with her commissions check, and that she just wants a little breathing room for her daughter. And you know what? When she goes Diamond this month, Chelsea's breathing room is going to get a little bit bigger because we all, like, all the boats rise together or whatever. She's going to tell Chelsea's story. So she's going to attract that person. But that's what she's doing. So like every third or fourth day, that's her story. I mean, she's going diamond, so she has a handful of people, right? And I'm like, just pick a few. Obviously pick your emerald, pick your 2 rubies, pick your 3 people that are going ruby. She has a spouse spot. So I'm like, highlight those as different stories, but also pick people that just don't want to grow a huge team, because not everybody joins this business to make $1 million like me. Like, some people just want that, and that's fine. Know where they're at and meet them there. But you want to attract those people, but then that also is going to, like, if you're into your story and if you're into your push and if you're into your whatever, that's going to help you sign people. Okay, maybe they're doubting themselves because they're like, this girl is on fire. She's like telling me that they're going to be a top 150 team. Like, I don't know if I'm in for all that. But then she's also excited about this Chelsea girl that just wants to pay for gas and groceries. Like, maybe I can be a part of her team. Maybe I do fit in with her. So that's something else, is be excited, create FOMO, and know exactly what you have to offer. This business is incredible. It is for everybody. So that's kind of, I don't know if that's what you had in mind for signing people, but that's how I sign people. And that's how, once you've put in the work of attracting the right kind of people and starting having those conversations, the signing is the easy part. The signing is the part where you just have to put in the work and get personal with them. Like, just follow up with them, get personal with them, create some FOMO, and show them what you've got.
I love that. And I love that you mentioned confidence, because I think easier for some reason for a lot of us to be confident in closing our loyal customers. You know, it's for some reason we have this preconceived notion that it's easier to sign loyals than it is distributors. And that's, I think, why a lot of us sign more loyals than we do distributors, when if we could just realize that it's the same, you know, it's the same closing loyals and distributors. You know, if anything, what I'm working on, and I'm definitely not like, you know, this is something that I'm having to dig deep and work on, is it's great to sign to use these products. These products are amazing, but it's a bonus to get to do that, to get to sign up to use the products and also make money off of them. Because if you're truly going to use the products and you're going to get results, then why wouldn't you want to be in a position where your results are going to make you money and help others do the same? Help others get results and make money. So when you get that mindset and you wrap your head around that, I feel like signing distributors will just kind of become second nature, because you'll be talking to a loyal and they're okay. I want to sign up for this. I want to sign up for that. Okay, awesome. Well, if you're really serious about this and, you know, you want to sign up and get results, why would you not want to get paid for it as well? You know, why would you not want to help other people get results too?
That's exactly right.
You know, for a lot of people, that's going to make sense to them. They might not jump in on it right away, but you've planted that seed. You've put that idea in their mind. And maybe if they didn't sign as a distributor, maybe they signed as a loyal customer that day, when they do start getting results, they're going to realize, like, hey, this stuff really does work. Like, I really could be making money off of this.
That's something else that I was going to mention is like, I ask everybody, you guys, like, I ask everybody. I ask my current customers that are loving their products. If you've done a hap for me more than once, I always offer it the first time. I'm like, hey, I'm like, thank you for entering. The giveaway will be live on my page XYZ date. Also, if you've ever considered trying any products or becoming a brand rep like me, I just opened up VIP spots. I would give you first dibs. Like, I have a message that says something like that. So I offer it every single time somebody hosts a post for me, but I definitely reach back out if their host a post goes off, or if they host a post for me more than one time. I'm like, girl, you have posted for me 3 times now. Like, this is literally how I work my business. You could for sure do this. And so offer it to everybody. And just have so many conversations and convert those people. It's crazy. If you're going to make that's the last question I ask people when I get their information, is I'm like, hey, I've got you all set up. I do have a trial distributor spot open. If you have ever considered making money while you are trying these products, it's risk-free. Would you ever consider it? Have you ever thought about doing that? You're going to get awesome results. You might as well get paid for it. Every single customer that I sign up, and they may tell me no, but that little bug is planted. That little seed is planted. They are thinking about it now, like, hey, maybe I could do this. Or what if I do really get amazing product or product results? Like, you have to ask, and you have to be keeping your eyes open for those opportunities to sign people.
Yes, that's so good. Okay, so for keep, this is the last little section that we're going to go through. You know, a lot of us sign distributors, and something that a few girls that I did some coaching calls last week, and a couple of girls that, you know, we talked about this specifically, they said that they feel like they get the people to sign up, they're there, and then, like you said in the beginning, they go into the witness protection program, or maybe they sign up and they're doing awesome, and then all of a sudden something for them, like something in their life changes, and they don't really understand how to keep this going, you know, how to make it a priority. So just talk a little bit about keeping your distributors after you've got them in the system.
Yep. So first things first, I don't know if you guys do this, but if you don't, I'm going to tell all of you to start doing it immediately. Have a one-on-one with your new distributor within 72 hours of them signing. No excuses. Okay. Get face-to-face with them, borrow a Zoom code. If you need a Zoom code, PM me and I'll send you mine. Like, get face-to-face with them, do a FaceTime, do whatever, and have a conversation with them. One, it's going to break the ice with them because, like I said earlier, don't assume that their fears are gone. Don't assume that just because they had that one brave moment where they said, yes, take my $99, let's go. Don't assume that they're not terrified of failing on a public forum like Facebook. Don't assume that that means that their husband is all of a sudden supporting this idea. Don't assume that they move to like a major metropolis from their tiny little town and they're not worried about that anymore. You have to get face to face with them. I do it every single new distributor when we go through these crazy signing things like we did earlier this month and last month. It takes up a lot of time, but it's super uber important. And it helps me retain people. So you want to keep people, get face to face with them. And the first 10 or 15 minutes, we just talk about life. I tell them about my kids. They always come and interrupt. Like, I'm very surprised that they have not been in here yet. If I'm on a Zoom, they're coming in. I talk about how I got started in this business, some of my fears and hesitations, how I did this as a working mom, and how I fit it into my schedule. I get to know them, whatever challenges they're facing, because you're right. Things are going to happen, just like COVID. Who could have freaking imagined that this would be our life? Who could have imagined that virtual learning would be a thing and that we would all be working full-time jobs and homeschooling our kids and trying to run a side business? Like, there's no way we could have predicted that. And if I know who my distributors are, then, and I've taken the time to get to know them a little bit, then the chances of them sticking around are way bigger. Form that relationship with them. I always tell them on that first call, we go over core 4 and like expectations for our newbie launch chat that we have, and just these are the 4 things we do every day, blah blah blah. You're going to have me communicate, over communicate, da da da, and then we get to know each other. Do that one-on-one. It will change your business because you get to know them, because you form that relationship. This business is based on relationships, and if you don't know that, or haven't learned that yet, know that. Okay, this business is based on relationships. My core 4 that we teach our newbies is post, message, follow up, and host to post. Here's something else that I tell them. When you are getting started in this business, you know nothing, okay? So I am going to give you a condensed version of what I do every single day. If I do nothing else for my business, I can promise you those 4 things are going to get done. And you as a brand new distributor are going to work this exactly like I do as a 3-year vet that's pushing a team to VIP, okay? We're gonna work this business the exact same. I'm gonna give you a post of the day. We're gonna have different messages that we do every single day. We're gonna do PLC messages and PDT messages. You don't have to know what that is, but I'm gonna walk you through them. We are going to get, we're going to do day 1 follow-ups because the fortune is in the follow-up, and we are going to do host to post every single day, because if your network that you have right now is less than stellar for whatever reason, then we're going to get out of it. We're going to go find another network that wants exactly what we have to offer, because what we have is amazing. So I go over those things with them, and I just kind of set the tone for this is it. And what you're doing is what I'm doing. We're just going to do it together, and I'm going to probably just do more of it. Okay. So once you get going with those, and your job for the next 4 weeks, the way we run our training chat, this is an aside, is we give them all of that stuff. Their goal for their first 4 weeks is to flex their consistency muscle. If you can be consistent and take the brain work out of what do I post, who do I message, like what apps do I use, all of that stuff. If you don't have to think about all of that stuff and you just have to figure out how to get it into your day every day, then that will take you so far in this business. So the next thing I have written down is daily check-ins. I'm giving them tasks every single day to do, and I'm walking them through that. I'm asking specific questions, not, hey, how are your tasks going today? Hey, have you got your HAPs up? I'm saying, hey, how are your HAP conversations going? Has anybody asked any weird questions yet? Like, because people are going to ask weird questions, right? Do you know how to add a friend? Do you know how to make a collection? All of this fun stuff. Let me give you this little tip. Like, be in constant communication with them, especially as they're first getting started, but let them just flex that consistency muscle before we start piling on stories and going live and creating things in over and blah, blah, blah. Like, there's 1,000 ways to work this business, but if we can master those 4 and we can make it a non-negotiable to do those every single day, those are the things, those are the basics of the KPI. Those are the things that are going to help them be successful and get wins in this business. And me checking in on them every single day is going to keep them around, because they know that I'm in their corner. They know that that smoke that I was blowing, saying, hey, I have all the tools and I'm going to teach you how to use them. That wasn't smoke. That was me being for real. I'm going to teach you how to do this business. I am going to be there through the weird, hard conversations and to celebrate every single boom that you have, right? So check in every single day. Don't assume that their fears are gone or their hesitations. Do your one-on-one. What else did I write? Oh, this is huge for me. This was a huge learning point. When I'm getting to know them on that one-on-one, I ask them what their goal is. Again, I'm here to make $1 million and to like sit on the white couch with Pam and like do all the things, right? That's my cup of tea, but that is not everybody. So know their goals and work with them there. Meet them where they're at. Don't push them like a person that wants to be on stage with me, red, if they are a $200 a month yellow, right? Meet them where they're at and coach them accordingly. Something else that I do is I have them take the Enneagram and the color personality test, just so that I can, or I'm sorry, not Enneagram, the love language test and the color test. And I can send those links to Candace if you don't have them. But because then I know how to give them praise. Then I know how to talk to them, so that I'm not talking to a yellow like a red, and I'm not giving somebody words of affirmation when they really just want like a handwritten letter or a little trinket gift in the mail from me. You know what I mean? So know who they are and plug into them. Meet them where they're at and work with them based on their goals, not yours. And then the last thing for keeping people around, this is so important, you guys. Once you sign a distributor, you are their mentor. It is amazing and incredible that you have awesome leadership like Cindy, like Candace, like Val, like Denise, like Elizabeth. We have such incredible leadership on this team, but they didn't sign up with any of those people. They signed up with you. You have to show up for them. You have to show up on the hard, crappy days that you don't want to even work your own business. You have to show up for them. Okay. You have to do it for them, and you have to lead from the front. When you choose to bring somebody into this business, they are your responsibility. They signed with you for a reason. One, because you attracted them, because y'all are both hot mess moms that like eat goldfish for dinner or whatever, and y'all are supposed to eat goldfish and like work through the crazy hard conversations together, right? So we're so blessed by this team because we do have so much amazing leadership, but it is your responsibility to care for them. It is your responsibility to check in on them daily and to just love on them. So I don't know. There's no secret. Here's the other thing though, and I'm definitely not a negative person, but you can't make people work this business. You can't motivate people. You can't whatever. Like I can give somebody every tool in the book and they're going to work or they're not. Your job is to check in with them and to make sure that they are getting what they need and that you are doing your job as a mentor by offering it all up to them. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So if you're doing all the things, then you have to chalk that one up and go find new blood, right? So, and I don't mean to be so like lackadaisical about that, because I still get eaten up every time I have somebody leave my chat or whatever. Like it still hurts me, or start ghosting me. But on the other hand, I can't focus on that. I have to focus on the other 100 people on my team that are loving our team and that are enjoying this community and that are gaining things from it. So, just do what you're supposed to do, lead from the front, show up for them, and just make it so personal for them. Like, it's a personal experience for them. Like you form a relationship. I don't know. There's not like a work way to say that. Like you just find a new friend, right? Like, so you're just forming a new relationship and letting them feel safe with you and proving to them everything that you said that you were going to do, you're going to do. So I think that's it for keeping distributors. You just love on them.
Yes, and that's huge. And I love that you talked about how, it's when you sign somebody, it's your responsibility to be there for them. Because sometimes I think when you first start forming a team, it's easier for you to just kind of disappear for a day, or for check in with people and stuff. And that's okay. Like we've all been there. So if that's you and that's happened to you or you've done that, don't feel bad. Just use it as, take this information that you're getting and start implementing it. Make sure that you are, loving on your team. Make sure that you're talking to them every day and, being there for them, because that speaks volumes about who you are as a leader, but also who you are as a person. And that's ultimately what your team cares about. They care about that you care about them, not that you just want them to put people in the system,
Absolutely. Something that I've got a girl on my team, she's not personally enrolled by me, but her name's Madison, and she's really incredible. She signed at the end of June, and she's going to go Emerald this month. And she's built, I think she's one away from Diamond, being built to Diamond. And so talk about, that's fast, you guys, like Diamond in 90, and she's going. But here's the thing, she knew nothing about this business before. Like she didn't walk in like with this whole like armor of leadership. And so she was like, Jamie, I feel like I'm losing people. I haven't talked to Jordan in 2 days and da 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 da. I'm like, here's the deal, Madison. We're going to keep this so simple. Set a timer on your phone and put newbie check-in. Okay, or put team check-in, and then put like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you're checking in with these 4 girls, and on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, you're checking in with these other ones. And if you haven't heard from the one from yesterday, check in with them again. Like, but never let it go more than a couple of days. Like, be intentional about checking in with them. And if you guys should see the alarm set on my phone. It's ridiculous. Like when I say I'm a hot mess, like this brain is 9,000 different places. And I just have like alarms that go off all day. That's like, get your haps up, get your water in, go pick up Rayleigh, time for math class for Riker. Like it's all the things, right? And drop your newbie tasks at 6 a.m. or whatever it is. But like whatever you need to do, to make sure that you show up for them, do that. And if it's something as simple as setting an alarm, like it's made such a difference in her team because they are hearing from her regularly. Yes, they're in the chat. Yes, they're in the newbie chat. Yes, they're in the team page. Yes, they're getting all of that stuff, but they're hearing from her. And she's asking them specific questions about their business. So that's something that I know that has worked really well. And for her as a new distributor or newer to the team, that's like she's killing it, and her team's plugging in and all of the things because they just want a piece of her. They signed up with her. So that's something that I would try if you're there, if you've signed some people and they've kind of left you for witness protection program, then do that and just check in with them daily. And then something else I was going to say is once you've been in the business for a really long time, and this will probably be my last tip, I didn't realize we've been on for an hour. But something that I have done over the years is every 3 months or so, it's cyclical, you guys. People come and go in this business, and that's just the honest truth of it. But every 3 months or so, I send out a message that says, hey, I don't know what happened a few months ago, but I miss you and you did great in this business, or you didn't even get started in this business. You are still active and I'd love to work with you. Would you be open to like a 4-week mentorship, like to get this going again? And I just throw out those lines and just open that door back up. I'm not going to chase people around, but it's amazing the things that happen, because sometimes life does throw crazy things at you, and sometimes your schedule does get the best of you or whatever, and newbies join at unfortunate times in their life or whatever, and they fall off and never get started. So I always reopen that door every so often and just say, hey, I don't know if now's better for you, but do you want to give it a try? So I keep those lines of communication open even after they've kind of faded, if they have. So those are a couple of things that I do.
That's good. I love that. And I know that everybody got tons of good tips from this tonight. Hopefully you guys will actually take these tips and implement them, and remember that, signing distributors it's not any harder than it is to sign loyal customers, and it's not hard. It's a numbers game, it's a follow-up game. It's a consistency game. It's a confidence game. You just take everything that you have and use it.
And here's the deal, and this will be the last thing I say, I promise, but done is better than perfect. Just do it. You have to do the work, and you have to do it consistently. If you want results, then show up for your business. You can do it. It does not have to be perfect. You will get better with time, and just be confident in what your team brings. If you're not confident in yourself, borrow Candace's confidence, borrow Cindy's, borrow whatever, but just go out there and have the conversations and do it. Do what you know that you need to do. So that's all.
Yep. Someone out there is waiting for you to do it.
Yep. For sure. I love you guys. Thank y'all so much for having me on.
We appreciate it. Thank y'all for hopping on. And yeah, Jamie, if you'll send me the love language link, I'll that one.
Yep, I sure will.
All right. Thank you.
All right. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.